poppin', y'all? It's the Nest Flyer, and I'm back to talk to you about athletes going to HBCUs. I'm really excited to talk to you about this because I feel like this is the perfect time and space to bring up this type of topic and to enter into this type of discussion. Because the prevailing argument has always been that in order to generate the revenue necessary to invest in athletics, players have to come first. And although I agree with this logic, I don't think that it's the player's responsibility to take the first step. Meaning that I don't think it's the player's responsibility to take the first step in committing to an HBCU. I think that it's the HBCU's responsibility to create programs, facilities, invest in coaches, and dining halls that would incentivize these players to actually come to HBCUs. It's time for predominantly white institutions to stop profiting off the backs of black athletes. I don't know if you all read Jamel Hill's article, but she wrote an article about what would happen if black athletes actually decided to start attending HBCUs as opposed to predominantly white institutions. In the article, she actually included a really interesting statistic. She said that black men make up 2.4% of the undergraduate population at Power 5 universities, which 65 universities, by the way, comprise the Power 5 conferences, but make up 55% of their football teams and 56% of their basketball teams. How do you make up 2% of an entire undergraduate population, yet make up 55% of your football and basketball teams? Do you see now, just with that one statistic, what could shift if that group decided to go to HBCUs? One thing that I wanted to add to the article and just highlight is that it's 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds that are making the decisions to come to these institutions. It's not older kids, it's not seniors. They also aren't necessarily social justice warriors. They're athletes. They want to be social justice warriors and engage in that stuff as well, but they're going there to play sports, their number one passion, their number one love. In order to incentivize them to come to these schools, we need to cater to their loves, cater to their needs, because they're about to make us so much money. And it's not that we just need to use them to make money, which it seems like all these schools want to do. We need to allow them to actually see the fruits of their labor, have a nice locker room to come home to after practice, have a nice meal at a dining hall, and all of those things. We flat out need to start bringing money back to HBCUs. So how do we do this? I think it starts in 4 steps. The first is allocating a sizable amount of money to training facilities. We're competing with facilities like Roy Williams Court, Cameron Indoor, all of these arenas that kids have envisioned playing in their whole entire life. It's difficult to go on an official visit and see those things and see the fan base that you can have, see the actual investment that goes into their athletic facilities, and then visit an HBCU and choose that facility. Because think about it, you've been watching sports your entire life. You've idealized playing in these arenas. What's gonna make me wanna go to Howard? What's gonna make me wanna go to Hampton? I come in these gyms and I don't see anything that really makes me wanna play. And you don't necessarily have to have your own gym. University of Virginia, for example, doesn't own John Paul Jones Arena, which is the arena that they play in. It gets rented to them for basketball season. Same with Georgetown, they play in Capital One. So it's not necessarily about building this new glamorous giant facility, but using the resources that people have. I'm just trying to give you the real tea, the shade, and the pink lemonade. 2, we need to allocate a sizable amount of money to coaching staff. I think people underestimate this so much, but players choose institutions based on coaches. We've even seen this most recently with Deion Sanders. People want to play for coaches that have the cheat code, period. Deion Sanders is one of the best football players to ever touch a football field. People want to play for prime time. People want to play for someone that knows how to get you to the NFL, that has invested in building players. Primetime doesn't just coach college football, he coached high school football as well. And so these are people that have dedicated their lives to the advancement of kids' football careers. People want to play for coaches like that. People want to play for passion. People want to play for coaches that have resumes, even in basketball. Do you want to play for Coach K? Yes. You want to play for Tom Izzo? Yes. You want to play for coaches that have extensive resumes and people that literally can give you the path to get to where you want to be, that being the NBA or the NFL. The third thing is investing in women's sports. Because women's sports aren't necessarily revenue sports, they're oftentimes significantly overlooked, even though we, and I say we because I am a female athlete, are putting in the same amount of work. For example, at the University of Virginia, I was ACC Rookie of the Year. I was on ACC teams 3 out of the 4 years I was playing. The only reason I wasn't on the 4th year was because of a shoulder injury, and I'm still alive. locker room, for example, I didn't get to listen to the music I wanted to listen to. Or in the weight room, I didn't get to listen to the music that I wanted to listen to. I was listening to the music the football players wanted to listen to. Football players and basketball players oftentimes get priorities in these types of environments, and so make a little weight room for the girls so that we can actually have a comfortable environment where we can excel. When you give women opportunity, we take it. When you give women opportunity, we want to play sports, we want to be involved. When Title IX was enacted in 1972, there was a 545% increase in women playing college sports and 900% increase in the number of women playing high school sports. We know that revenue sports take priority, and that's probably something that's not going to change. But give us an infrastructure and ability to feel comfortable in our own athletic spaces, because Title IX shouldn't be the only advance in 1972 that I'm talking about in regards to women's sports. I think the fourth and most important thing is sharing the plans with the national and student community. So many times HBCUs get these donations and we think all these things are going to happen, and then we don't have any accountability. We don't hear anything. We don't hear anything after the money was donated. And so I think that there has to be a level of accountability so that we're able to see, hey, they said that they were going to give money to athletics and they actually did. I'm going to close with addressing Howard specifically. With this $40 million investment that Mackenzie Scott just donated, I also wrote you all an open letter about how to allocate the money, which you all can read. It's very public on the internet and has a lot of signatures. But with this donation, there is no reason why a significant portion of this money should not be invested into athletics. Howard Hospital is the only hospital in DC that still serves patients that don't have health insurance. Because of that, it's difficult for our hospital to operate at anything other than a deficit. How do we ensure that we establish a consistent revenue stream to fund money into the hospital, to fund money into research in HBCUs, to fund money and to get more students to attend HBCUs, because that number has been dropping in years to come? We can do it by attacking the largest revenue source in the United States, men's basketball, and even the secondary largest, men's football. And then don't forget about the women also. Please don't forget about the women. This money that was given to us by Mackenzie Scott, $40 million, which is a whole lot of money that I never thought an HBCU would see from a single donor. We have to use this money wisely, and I think that it would be ludicrous for a portion of this money not to go to athletics. This is the perfect time and space to begin bringing Black athletes back to HBCUs. We have extremely large voices in the communities. Kids listen to athletes, parents listen to athletes. America loves athletics. There is so much untapped revenue that we can get by actually investing in athletics. And I really just want Howard and every HBCU in the United States to take my advice. And please, 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 please invest in athletics, because you will get so much money back. So much money back. It's about establishing a continuous stream of revenue. This is a whole bunch of untapped money and a whole bunch of untapped potential that HBCUs need to begin tapping into. It is time for us to bring back, I'm Obama right now. It is time for us to bring Black athletes back to HBCUs.